So I said, Amy, let's open a skin clinic. She looked at me first and was like, are you crazy? Like, we know nothing about skin and injectables. Like, why would we do that?
It's the added value, and we're really seeing the industry move towards that.
Company culture. Like, Amy's drilled in company culture in my brain. She says it all the time.
I think anyone who's worked in a bad company culture environment
scars you.
And then, if you start your own business, you're like, I'm going to be different. I'm literally going to do the opposite of everything they did.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what I did with Sskin.
Get mentors, join Facebook groups, go to these women morning breakfasts of influence, those events, get a group of other people around you and ask questions, because that's like those mentorships is what's going to help you grow.
A lot of bosses, like we always say leaders, because I think it's so different being a boss and being a leader. I think you guys are leaders in what you're doing.
Love that.
Yeah.
Hey, lovers, just a quick one. If you listen to us and you love us, could you please hit that subscribe button? I know it's a pain, but that little button means the world to us and our podcast, and means that we can get more great guests on like we know you guys love listening to. So do a girl a favor, hit subscribe, and we would be so grateful.
We just wanted to say a massive thank you to our podcast sponsor, Kevin Murphy, distributed by Ozday, and thank them for being the most amazing brand partner for Salon Rising. This brand is truly incredible, and we are so excited to work alongside you.
Welcome back to Salon Rising, the podcast. Good morning, Smara.
Good morning.
We're joined by two very special guests this morning that I'm so excited to have on the pod. Amy and Emilee from Sskin. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
First of all, let us say, your schedule's so busy. So thank you for
thank you so
carving
much.
out time. And also cool for us because this is our first Sskin owners.
Yes. Yeah, I was
on the
really
pod.
excited about that.
Yeah.
And the reason that I reached out to the girls, actually, the first reason was I felt like a terrible friend because I was talking to my friend Katie, who works for you, and I did not realize that. And I was like, are you working there? She's like, yeah, for like 2 years, Jen. I'm like, I am so sorry. I did not know that.
She's like, also get us in with the girls. We want them on the pod.
Because, well, yeah, I did afterwards. I was like, now hang on. Can I just slide this in this way? But I started following you guys because I was looking for this, for something different. You know how we're always talking about, like, I just want this experience, this facial experience. I'd messaged Sam and I was like, oh, we're going to this place and they got a facial like inside your mouth and everything. She's like, this sounds amazing. And everything that you guys were about was like, this is so what was missing, I think, for the industry.
Yeah, agreed.
So your sisters
Yeah.
in business together,
Yeah.
co-founders. Tell us a little bit about the journey to start the business. Where did it come from?
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, we're sisters. Amy was actually working with another sister of ours, Tammy. And I, like you guys said, like I was missing something. All the places where we went to go get my facials, like I was missing the experience. I've traveled a lot overseas. And I feel like these days, like people don't want just a treatment. You want that experience. You want that feeling. You want that story to go home and tell your mom or tell your friend and that feeling overall. So I would go a lot of places and saying, oh, it's great treatment, but the customer service wasn't the best. Or
The clinic wasn't beautiful. Or,
like you want to take an Instagram photo. You're doing something for yourself. You want to feel good.
Or it's not consistent.
Yeah, it's not consistent.
Yeah.
Like you'd go in, sometimes you get offered a water, sometimes you don't. Like just that consistency. So I came to Amy. Her and Tammy just split ways. It was good timing for me. Amy has the brains. She's really good with behind the scenes. So I said, Amy, let's open a skin clinic. She looked at me first and was like, are you crazy? Like, we know nothing about skin and injectables. Like, why would we do that? Then you went off. Had to think.
Yeah, I went off and I actually did some research around it. Mind you, I was also pregnant at the time, like early pregnancy. So I was like, I don't know if this is like the best thing to be doing while I'm pregnant. But I did some research and I really did see a gap in the market for what Emilee was saying. I'm like, there's all these little things that add up to this 5-star experience. And I feel like so many people aren't doing it. Like I couldn't think of places that I would recommend to my mum, to my sisters, to my friends. So I was like, we are the consumer. We can create this.
Yes.
So we put a business plan together and then, just full steam ahead.
And I also feel like we know for us being in this industry that women, there's not all this disposable cash everywhere at the moment. And if people are going for the service, they also want to feel, and women want to feel held and taken care of. They're like
someone else is taking care of them.
I want to go in, I want to be held and taken care of and just like pretend that you tell me everything to do for the next hour and I do nothing. So that gap of having that full experience plus still feeling like you're actually taking care of yourself is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the added value, and we're really seeing the industry move towards that. Like, why would you go somewhere where you're just going to sit there and lay under an LED light when you can go do it for like the similar price but get full massage, full experience, feel really nurtured and walk out feeling like a completely new person.
Amazing.
Can we just leave now and just head across the road?
Like, so, and now it's
so
part of the
convenient.
morning.
Just cross the road now.
Yeah. But so neither of you had experience in the industry at all, other than obviously from the consumer side. So what sort of experience did you have? Like, what was your background?
Yep. So I've done a Bachelor of Business.
Yep.
You've done.
I've done a Bachelor of Business, majored in marketing. I've worked in marketing for quite a while. And then I moved from Sydney to the Gold Coast to help my sister start her activewear label, Sskin collection. So, I helped her build that brand and then also her personal brand. And then I started a fitness app with her. So we were kind of just like brand builders. We kept like starting these businesses. And I guess that's why Emilee wanted me to come on board with Sskin, because I just had that business marketing background and very much like to work in the background on that sort of stuff and very passionate about it.
When we actually started though, we reached out to everyone. I am not shy at all. So we had a really amazing, one of my doctors recommended a drug rep. She kind of took us under her wing. We got to show her our business plan. She helped us tweak it. So we had like a little mentor in that end. Then with Sskin, like we reached out to lots of people. I asked a lot of questions. I love being a sponge.
Yeah.
I knew we weren't the professionals in the industry. So
Yeah, but I think in that, like goosebumps, there's so many people that know Sskin and then just decide to have a business.
Yeah.
And then they don't know what to do with the business.
business.
Whereas you guys, it's pretty powerful that you're like, no, we know business, but we don't know this industry. So we're going to get the insides and ask the questions and get that. Because, I think that there's a lot of people listening that are like, yeah, I know that side of it, but I have no idea what to do in business. And even you guys saying that, you reached out to so many people for like, teach us Sskin.
Yeah.
But that's what people should be doing. If they're in Sskin, they should be reaching out and saying, teach us business.
100%. We talked about this when we spoke at the French Beauty Academy. We were saying, reach out, get mentors, join Facebook groups, go to these women morning breakfasts of influence, those events, get a group of other people around you and ask questions, because that's like those mentorships is what's going to help you grow.
Yeah, exactly right. And be brave enough to ask the questions.
What we found really interesting when we entered the industry was so many people said, oh, you're not practitioners. And it's funny that you bring up that business was our background, because for us, it made sense.
Yeah.
There are so many practitioner-led businesses where they don't know the business side.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we're not doing the treatments. We hire the best of the best.
Yeah.
We're actually doing the business side.
Yeah, they were almost a little bit confused, like doctors and nurses.
Oh,
We're
you're
going
not a
to like,
nurse?
they're like, what? I'm like, nope, not a nurse.
They're like, are you doing the facials? I was like, definitely not.
Yeah, but then that's how you've been able to grow the business, because at the end of the day, you're not on the clients. So you're able to do the back end
Sit
and
back,
take care of your team and have your market. Like, it's very powerful.
And you do an amazing job. I mean, it makes sense with your marketing, knowing your background, but you do an amazing job of looking after your team. Like, that's really cool because you can see that. I know I saw that one of you girls has just won like facialist of the year. I'm like, how cool. But one of the most beautiful things that I read her quote when she got it was that she just was so passionate about being part of your team. Like, that's amazing,
cute.
isn't it?
Yeah, so sweet. And I haven't worked in many corporations before, but Amy has. So when starting Sskin, company culture. Like Amy's drilled in company culture in my brain. She says it all the time.
I think anyone who's worked in a bad company culture environment
scars you.
and then if you start your own business, you're like, I'm going to be different. I'm literally going to do the opposite of everything they did.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what I did with Sskin.
Yeah.
I just wanted a place where people come in and they're happy and they leave happy.
They want to come to
and
work.
supported. But also it's that balance. We're not like their whole life.
Yeah.
And we make sure that like they know that we know that as well. And we make sure it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah.
It has to be, because I think also you forget to put yourself in their shoes as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like they need to feel valued.
Yeah.
They need to feel heard. They need to feel supported. And that's the environment.
And we all have so much going on, like kids or other things or other jobs, partners. So we try to be really understanding and an open book and open communication with them so that everyone feels heard, like you said, but everyone comes in happy, because if you come into work and you're not feeling happy, that just transfers onto your clients straight away.
Yeah.
And you spend so much time at work. You need to love what you're doing and where you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, yeah,
I know.
absolutely.
This makes me very excited. This conversation makes me very happy.
Oh, I know, because culture is something that we're so big on, and it's that same thing. Like when you've seen the other side of things, you just want to make sure that you are never like that.
Yeah.
So,
And as you said, everybody has, I think, a lot of bosses, like we always say leaders, because I think it's so different being a boss and being a leader. I think you guys are leaders in what you're doing.
Love that.
Yeah.
And
Leaders.
I think that boss role is very much forgetting that nobody owes you anything that works for you. And their life is not their job, and their life is their home. They're just like it should be ours. And, you know, it's finding that, as you said, finding that balance between work and life, and then also allowing our team to know and have the same.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's really important for us, because obviously we're all parents in the room as well, right? So, because how many children do you guys have?
I have 2.
2.
I have 3 plus 2 stepkids.
Yeah, that's right. Sound familiar? And young too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 and 1.
Yeah.
I can't remember. 2, 5, 8, 12, 13. I always forget. I forget names, numbers, everything. I'm like, whatever.
We just call them
keep
kids.
shouting
Kid.
until you get the right name.
No, I
Someone
understand.
listen to me.
No, I understand our mum. She used to call us numbers sometimes because there was 7 of us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, there
wow.
is 7 of us.
Yeah.
There was. So like numbers, different names. I'm like, I can relate.
Hey, that one.
Yeah.
Lunchbox,
Yeah,
go.
it's like down the road, and then you get the dog's name as well and everything. It's like somebody just come now. Yeah.
But it's a question we get a lot, like how do you manage it? And I'd love to ask you guys that too, because I have 3 and then 2 bonus boys as well.
Wow.
And even getting ready this morning, it's like, okay, up, get me ready. And then one of the boys wanted oatmeal, and last night he was like, hey, can you make me porridge? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I've got all the time. And then realized I had a 7 o'clock. And I was like, fuck, I've got to get up at 6, make sure that's made, because that's what he's going to remember today, is that I told him that I would make him breakfast.
porridge, yeah.
And if I don't make him porridge, then I'm letting him down. So, but, you know, trying to get 5 lunch boxes ready, and we've got 5 under 10. So trying to get lunch boxes ready and all the different things, homework for that one, shoes for that one, iPad for that charge. And it's so much noise in the background, as well as being a leader and trying to make sure that you hold your team in all those areas as well.
Yeah.
For you guys, how do you, like, because people always say, how do you do it? And I'm like, sometimes good, sometimes not well. But what do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, it's up and down. I think you need a really good support team around you. Like I take all the help I can get, whether it's my mum, whether it's my in-laws. Like my in-laws just flew up to help me for the last 2 weeks. So support around you, whether it's a babysitter or a nanny or family's the best.
Yeah.
So lots of support, and not being shy to ask for help, because at the beginning I wanted to be the perfect mum, and I wanted to do it all myself.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do, you know, like bring in those muffins for the other kids at school, and like that stereotypical perfect mum.
Yeah.
You've never tried to do all
It's
that.
that stereotypical too.
Yes.
The idea of what that mum
like
is for
soccer
us.
practice, you have the fairy bread and the homemade whatever it is. I wanted
And
to
your
do,
chic is still chic as fuck.
and
like,
you're perfect.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I wanted to be that mum, but time went on, and I'm like, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
That's something that I was trying to make happen. And that's not like our perfect in our real life. So
Also, you're teaching your children right now how to also be this incredible provider, this incredible human, this like, so what's better to
But
teach our
also
kids that
to value themselves
Yeah.
and to look after
and
themselves.
to give themselves the
and
purpose
that was
they want.
really stressing me out. And I would be really grumpy, really short with my kids, have like a short temper. And it wasn't like a happy environment. So I really learned to ask for help, get my mum, can you get the kids today? Or can I do this? Or after school care and things like that. So we've got a really good routine. I think being organized is the best thing ever. There's lots of charts. There's lots of like, this day's, soccer, this day's piano, you take them on this day. So lots of organization that really helps. Getting up earlier, like I love my sleep, but that's just not a thing for me. I think waking up that extra hour early and being able to have a second for myself
For yourself.
before the kids I've noticed that's a huge difference in my life.
Yeah.
And then when I am with my kids at those times, like I really try to switch off from work. Like I have my phone. If things are urgent, like I do respond, but sometimes like you'll text me and I'll be like, I'm at soccer. I'll get to it tonight when they're asleep. Like this is the time with the kids where I really want to be present in the moment. So that's like the main things for me.
And like
balance.
you said, communication as well, right? I do
Yeah.
the same thing. I'm like, guys, big day. I'm tapping out right now.
Yeah.
Because Rich will send us a whole bunch of stuff and I'm like, I can't even process it right now. I just need to be a mum.
Things can wait. Like things
Yeah.
can wait. Like I love to get things done straight away, but it's okay to say, I will look at that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep.
For me, I'm still like figuring it out.
Yeah, because you've got young babies.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like, day by day, I think, because that could be a good night, a bad night. Jude might be up all night. And then I'm just like, it's tired today, guys.
Yeah.
But, I'm just figuring it out. I think just for me, prioritizing what's important to us. Like, not for me, it's not important to like do the fairy bread and the stuff like that. If I rock up and don't forget something, I'm like, yes, we did it, guys.
Sometimes Amy will come somewhere with me and she'll have no nappies or wipes. I'm like,
Oh
Amy,
my God.
that's the basics.
Do you know how often I do that all the time?
She's
and
like, does anyone have one?
My sister will always have it.
I
even
think
though
that's why
her,
she's like okay with that.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I
What if
feel
you
like
have one?
I've been that way since my kids were born. Like my baby, I was like leaving the hospital. My baby had just been born. They're like, do you have a nappy? Not one in my baby bag. I was like, I'm sorry.
my sister's youngest is 12 and she has a nappy and wipes at all times generally
that's like
because
two different types of
just
mum, right?
walk out with the baby and think, oh, well, if it needs, because I've got a
Same.
2-year-old, I'm like,
We'll
it'll be
figure it
fine. We'll
out.
figure it
Yeah.
out. Like,
I'll be home before they go toilet.
I've become more easygoing like that because you stress less and then your kids are actually happier.
yeah.
So it's been a journey to
Yeah.
get there.
Because they do get like, I am exactly like that, but they do get older when you're like, okay, I actually need to be more routine because of the fact that this one's got this one's got that. We've got to be there for that. We've got to be there for this. Like the more fucking
Yeah.
activities they do, like as soon as my kid goes, I don't want to do that anymore, I'm like, cancelled. Take that one off the schedule
Yeah.
because I am exhausted and I also
Yeah.
don't want to do that anymore. So, but yeah, there's so many more things of adding, and school emails. Holy shit. It's like
Yeah.
you need a PA.
You
just-
need a
WhatsApp
school
groups.
emails.
My
Yeah.
daughter's
Yeah, the
just
parents'
started
WhatsApp
this
groups.
year.
yeah.
I know. I get so many.
Like look at your phone, there's like 30 notifications.
Yeah, what are you people doing?
One-
What are you doing? I don't understand.
Yeah.
One
Who
parent
has
made
time
a
to do that?
graph of all the kids different ages that were coming to some play day. I was like, what in the WhatsApp group?
Why is this important?
I know. It was so
Too
weird.
much time. But then
Yeah.
in saying that, like you said, having your village. So when my youngest started school, it was, or my
She's
middle
not
child,
youngest.
sorry, I have so many. When my middle child started school, my first daughter, I didn't find a village at school. Like it was just very kind of, nope, no one spoke. And then when my middle child started, all of a sudden there was all these mums that wanted to hang out. And then my village, they fucking help so much.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, because my eldest has got sport before school, so then I'll drop them to their place because I've got 10,000 things to do.
Perfect.
But trying to find people that also you can help and they can help
Yeah.
is so massive for mums when they
Yeah.
work. You know,
I
because
love
then
that.
one of the other mums the other day, Sadie was sick, and then conveniently her friend was also sick. And I was like, all right, I'll pick you both up, come to work, play with your iPads.
Yeah.
Because having those people around you that can help,
Yeah.
in your family and the
Stops
village
the
you
crazy.
create stops
Yeah.
the crazy.
It does and it just
So-
works.
Which child were you pregnant with when you guys embarked on this adventure?
Aurora, so 4 years ago. She's 4 now.
And it was your first.
My first.
Wow.
And the pandemic happened as well. So it was the perfect storm. I just remember having like a breakdown, being like, oh no, what have we done? I just put all my money into this. I'm about to have a baby and we can't even open.
Okay, so that was 2020, yeah?
Yeah.
And then, yes, that is 4 years ago. Yes, it is 2024.
Crazy.
Just catching up. So you started with the one, because how many clinics have you got now? Two?
We've got the two.
Two.
Bundle
So
and
you
Robina.
started with Bundle, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk us through that journey of being able to open then. So what sort of happened there?
So I always look at every situation with the glass half full instead of being half empty, because I feel like everything is perception and how you look at it. So I looked at it as a positive that we were still doing the shop fit out.
Okay.
So we weren't really wanting to open. Like we could have gone
We
faster.
slowed the
We
shop
slowed
fit
it
out
down.
down.
Yeah, okay.
So we slowed it down. We weren't like, trying to make the tradies go fast and get it done where otherwise we would have been like, let's open,
Yeah.
So they took their time. And then when we did open, it was the whole social distancing thing. So it wasn't like one person allowed. I can't remember the exact rules. Was it like you could only have a certain amount of people
In the
The rules
like
changed
Yeah.
every day.
So
Yeah.
it was just adapting and going with that, and we just made light of the situation really. But we were also looking at it like a lot of businesses still couldn't open then.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, well, we're lucky that we actually can open,
open.
even though there are things that we have to like make sure we're not doing.
We opened like a couple of months after, maybe like 3 or 4 actually, after we wanted to, originally planned, but we really slowed things down. And then by the time we opened, people were really craving that personal
Yeah.
connection.
Yes.
So as soon as we opened, it was like floodgates of bookings, which was like amazing in that sense. So
I
we
think
actually
even
got heaps of
That's a really cool
Clientele.
message. Like you literally slowed down to speed up. Like
Yeah.
instead of being like, oh my God, we've got to get it done. It was like, no, let's get this done properly.
Yeah.
Let's really slow it down. And then you guys went gangbusters when
Yeah.
it opened. Yeah.
And
it
then-
gave us like a good amount of time to really find the right people.
That's what I was going to
and-
say. How did you go about finding your team? Because what sort of size team did you start with?
We started with 3.
3 or 4.
Well, we had one nurse or 2 nurse injectors and 1 skin therapist. And first I said to Amy that we were going to do reception. I said, we've got no more money. Like we've overspent so much. I said, Amy, we're going to be receptionists. Like it is what it is. I think the first day I went, I opened the door and I was like, welcome. And they're like, what the hell is going on here? Like, was not expecting you here doing this. And I was horrible. I didn't know how to do anything. Couldn't really take any of the bookings or any of the system properly. So I was like, Amy, we need a receptionist right now. Like, this is not
Fuck the money, we're taking nothing.
And this is our whole brand is that like amazing service from the clinic coordinator that you meet and they get to know you and you build that
Yeah.
relationship. So I knew that I was going to do harm to the business to invest that money
Yeah.
for the better of the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we ended up hiring
So we had
our
4
first clinic
people.
coordinator.
We
Yeah.
found them through. It's all about who you know.
A lot of them are word of
Yeah.
mouth with our team. With I think we've got 18 or 19 girls now, and everyone is pretty much like 80% like referred.
Yeah.
Which
Because
I love referred.
Yes.
and that's also coming because your culture is so good. Like your culture within your business is so good. We find we get this all the time with us. Like, oh, I want to work for you. I've heard such good things, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you take care of your people.
You're
and
not actually having to seek people. They
Yeah.
present themselves to
Yeah.
you when you're putting that out there that that's your culture.
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
So 19. So how's the journey been to build up to that?
Crazy.
When
It's a
did you
lot.
open Rabina?
A year ago?
Yeah, a year ago now.
A year ago.
Yeah. And just recruiting for that, I think was like really hard for us because we are so picky and we just, I don't want to say picky, but we know who the skin girl is.
Yeah.
And we've learnt that over time.
Yeah.
And you don't want to let the wrong personality into your team or someone who's not going to add value. And like I said, it has to be mutually beneficial. So it's just about having those conversations in the interviews. We know what we're looking for. What are you looking for? And really like asking them.
Being really
like, where
straightforward.
do you see yourself in 5 years? What are you passionate about? What motivates you? Because different things motivate different people. And we're pretty flexible in terms of what like we reward our staff with. Like it might be that they're really career focused right now and say like, oh, I'm really focused on training. I really want to meet with these doctors. I really want to go to these events. I want to network within the industry. Then that's what we're going to like give to them and invest in for them. They might say like it's a monetary thing and it's like, okay, then we'll focus on your salary and bonuses, you know, but
Knowing what
everyone's
they want.
motivated by different things.
Yeah.
So we kind of create like a wish list and be like, okay, this is our roadmap for you here.
Are you taking on people always like trained professionals? Like, are you?
No, I think at the beginning we would have, but now we know that you can train someone, but you can't train like who they are, their character. So with nurses, like they have to be obviously at some degree, you know, of level of training and experience. But especially with like our clinic coordinators, like if I go meet someone at like a coffee shop now and they're a vibe, like I will say, email me your resume. Like I actually would
She's
because
done that, yeah.
I met this random guy and I was like, I don't know if you're looking for a job and even want to be a receptionist, but we just had this like great kind of banter, great kind of vibe to him. So now we know to look out for that you can't just like train that, like it's who they are.
Again, it's that we have that idea of the Sskin
person? Yeah.
Yeah. And whether it's their, you know, just that their vibe, their personality, they make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, make you feel safe.
Skin
Like
can be such a vulnerable thing. And people come in just like sometimes so nervous. And one thing we get in our Google reviews and just testimonials is clients say, I came in and I felt so welcome. And you just can't teach someone
You can't
that.
teach that. No.
It's confronting. Like you're allowing people to touch you, you know,
Yeah.
like
Well,
and
you think
that's
about it, it's the only industry like ours that you're like being vulnerable enough to let someone on your skin, let someone touch your hair. Like,
Yeah.
and we're, you know, in any other industry, you can't have someone just be like, how you doing? Because if, you know, you went into bloody Robina into a retail store and someone said that, you'd be like, bitch, get off me.
Yeah.
Why are you
But for
touching me?
us, yeah, like the touch is what people need. There's so many people out there
It's that.
don't get the touch, that they're like, that is what I'm craving without even knowing that that's what I'm craving.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost something you can't even put into words. Like we have all our practitioners will also go through an interview process. Katie, our clinic manager, will like phone screen them and then we do in-person interviews and we do a second in-person interview. Then we actually do a trial.
It's a bit of a
and we get the
process.
vibe from the team and everyone.
yeah.
But like
we're always like, did you like them? Was
Yeah.
the hello nice?
they always have like this thing that you can't put your finger on and you just
But you know it when
Yeah.
you feel it and you see it, you know
feel
it.
it.
Yeah.
For me, it's always when they're on trial, when they're in here, it feels like they don't feel like separate to my business. They feel like they've been here forever. And I'm like, I know that's the right person. When it just feels like, oh, it feels like you've always been here. Whereas if there's that slight, there's someone that's not in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go, you're great, but there's just
Something.
It doesn't feel like
Yeah,
that
that's a good
connection's there.
point.
Yeah. And especially if they're doing like facials and massage and stuff.
It's the touch.
It's the touch and like some people have it and some people don't. You could be like, oh my God, I love them on paper. They're amazing. And
Yeah.
then they perform the treatment and it's almost like,
Lackluster.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
When you're going to let someone put their hands in your mouth, because I still really want to get that one done. But yeah, there's an expectation about what's going on there.
Seriously. So true.
I love that. And I love the piece on consistency because it's something
Yeah.
that I speak about. And it's
All the time.
It's really hard to, you know, and even for us, once we realized our consistency, you know, one person's consistency to another person's consistency is completely different.
Yeah.
So once we realized, oh, it's the consistency of the whole team being able to work that way. And like you said, you don't want to go somewhere once and be like, that was amazing. I actually just had that. I went somewhere for my skin and the first time was incredible and the second time was very salesy and very clinical. And by the end I was just like, no, I'm done. So it's also trying to think about that. And, you know, it can happen in every business. I'm sure there's people that have been here that feel the same way, but it's trying to create as much consistency as possible within a
and
business.
being aware of it. Everybody's human. If you've had a moment where you weren't consistent, you're human, but being aware of it and going like, oh, okay, probably dropped the ball there. What can I do to bring it back? That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And
you
we'll
know?
do like the secret shoppers, send in people to like 2 people to the same person and get both of their experiences, and like one person will send to 2 different facialists to go, okay, like what was different? What did you
Yeah.
like more?
And it's all about constructive feedback, but we've gotten great feedback from it.
Mm.
Just even little things like, you know, oh, it was like a little busier at one of the clinics, so they felt like they got less attention, like when they came in. And like the 5-star service is what we really pride ourselves on. So on those busier times now, we have 2 clinic coordinators scheduled on, you know, so they can
Wow.
really
Yeah.
provide that attention while one's attending to something in the back, the other one's always with the client.
Yeah.
Little things like that we're like, we know this will make the service a lot smoother. It'll enhance the experience. So all the feedback we take, we're like, okay, what can we put in place to fix this or to mitigate it going forward?
That's the most important thing. Feedback is positive. That's something that really
We love
people
it.
need to flip their mind.
I think it's
mindset on.
because majority of people in our industry are like
not business.
they're not
like
business owners.
minded.
So for
Yeah.
us, even for me, like feedback is terrifying because generally it's feeling like it picks you as a brand. Like
Yeah.
it's like you feel like a brand. Whereas I think the cool thing about you guys is because you're not doing the services, it's easier for you to be like, okay, cool, we can work with that and we can adjust it. Whereas, and you guys, and I think it's a really important part is it's still a business for you guys. It is not it's not who you are, it's your business. And I think a lot of people in this industry are like, but that's who I am, me included.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
getting
like-
way better. I'm getting way better. But it becomes like Lacerella for 15 years has been actually me. So it can feel like a personal attack. So it gets scary asking for feedback, but I think it's so important.
Yes.
Like my brain
Without-
is ticking as you guys are saying this stuff.
Without feedback, you do not grow.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
even noticed that though with our team.
Yeah.
Like a lot of practitioners like fear the feedback
Yeah.
and the change as well.
Yeah.
I was about to
like-
say change as well.
I'll just nurture them through it. And I'm like, guys, I have so many quotes and so many things that I say to everyone. Everyone must be so sick of me in the Sskin team. But I'm like, guys, this is great. Like, we're going to take this to the next level. Like, this is good. Welcome it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just constantly like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have certain things that you guys can think of that you were like, this has nearly made us pack it in? Like certain situations, or you're like, no, it's generally gone. Because I always talk about the burn down moments, you know, when
Yeah.
you're like, fuck this. Why do we do this? Why? Like, have you got certain things that you've had big things and you've been like, oh, that has been a really good growth moment?
Really good growth moment. There's been a lot.
So even that makes everyone go,
Yeah, no, there's been a lot, and we work so hard. So when things do happen, that's not like according to plan. Like it is hard. You think, oh my gosh, we work so hard. We put in so much money. We put in so much time. Like, is it worth it? You know? But I think that's a really good thing about having a business partner and to be able to like get each other's heads like out of that mindset, because we know that within every business, like you're going to have that like up and down.
Ebbs and
It's not
flows.
like,
Yeah.
it's not like this. And we really do look at like any kind of points as growth for us and a lesson. So, okay, what can we do different? What can we change? What can we take from that to go? But of course, there's been times where we've been like, oh my gosh, like this
Yeah,
is,
tears.
I'm trying to think of like,
stress.
there's been like a particular,
We've
oh,
both
like with Rabina, our build costs like triple the amount of what it was meant to cost because building prices
Went.
and costs went up.
Yeah.
So obviously,
and the
like
clinic
that's
is
taken
divine.
Yeah, like there was nothing like we were like, no, we need marble, and no, we need this, and we wanted it very luxe and chic, and that's our brand. So we. Like,
so it was our fault.
yeah, it was our fault, but it was something that to go,
But
wow,
worth it for the
like
consumer.
that's
babe.
a lot of
Yeah.
money. And like you said, like a lot of people don't realize the money and the cost that goes into having,
Having
There's
that
like-
luxury brand.
It's Murphy's Law, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And it's the timing of things too. Like, you know, you spend a lot of money on something, then something pops up that you're going to have to pay for that you didn't expect. And then you're like scrambling around and you're stressed. And we've both been pregnant throughout like this journey as well with Sskin. So there's been hormones and like
Yeah.
stress levels high and
yeah. And just working with your sister can be
I was
like,
just going to say
Yeah.
that.
can
Yeah.
be, you know, up and downs of emotions and craziness.
There's a
Working with
reason
this
why
girl.
there's a reason why there's a Jen between me and Rich, which are brother and sister. Like there's a reason why we have a Jen. You just
Oh,
need
yeah.
a Jen in the middle of it.
Yeah,
to,
well,
to fuse both of you.
yeah.
Jen.
Yeah.
Katie.
Katie's
Katie's
that.
great.
Yeah.
But Emilee was right in saying that, like, being able to support each other through those times, pull each other out of it. I think, like, when I'm down, she's like, snap out of it. And then when she's down, like, we'll often say to each other, if this was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
Like
exactly
remind ourselves
right.
that like it's
And then
not
like
easy.
something will happen when we're like having that down and we're like, oh my gosh, like we're stressed or something. And then something will happen. Like the other day, one of our employees sent us like a novel of just wanted to let you guys know like how amazing you are and what you've grown in the last 3 years and this and that. And like something like that will happen.
That
Like, always
day I
at the
needed
right
to
time.
hear
Yeah, when you're like, should we just pack it in?
Yeah.
No,
Let's go move overseas and pack up. No.
Yeah.
And then, like,
She
that will
literally
happen.
said in her message, I don't think like you hear it enough, but I really appreciate you guys.
But
and
things
I
happen
needed
like
to hear
that.
that
Yes.
day.
Always at the right time. Like, a couple of things have happened in the last
made me cry.
week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is like, I'm not as emotional. She's very emotional. So I'm like, that's good, Amy. That's a good hit for Amy to give her that boost, you know?
Jen's not like that. She's like, oh, thanks. And I'm like, I needed that so bad. Thank you. You know, and it is just feeling appreciated because
Yeah.
you do go, also, we're doing all of this because we know what it's like to work in places that are shit.
Yeah.
And so we're doing all of this to make sure that you guys feel really supported and really loved, but also we need to feel the appreciation back
Yeah.
because sometimes and no one sees all the shit we do behind the scenes. No one sees us up on our phones, doing all the things, being up early, trying to get things done. Like even last night I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to sit on the couch. And then I was like, fuck socials. Like, and you know, no one sees all that behind the scenes of you wanting to make it really, really great, but also you're exhausted. So someone just being like, I see you and I appreciate you. You're like, oh, thank you. Even clients, like it means the world when clients do the same thing. But when your staff come to you as leaders, it's pretty magic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You pour so much of yourself into your business. And I think to like get that feedback from your like staff and your clients that those little things that you're doing, they see them.
Yeah.
And they're relaying it back to you. Like with our clients, they're seeing the little details, the little things that so many people think don't matter or like will overlook in a business because they're like, oh, it's just a little thing. To us, we really put effort into that. And for them to mention it, like even just like the smell of the clinic.
Yeah.
We have like a signature scent that gets pumped through the aircon and it's like linked to memory and like this feeling and we want it to feel a certain way and we put so much like thought
There's
into
a long
it.
process to do that. It's not an easy thing.
I was like, what am I going to spray in my aircon vents this week?
But to have like, even when I'm walking into the clinic and a client's sitting there and I hear them say, oh my God, it smells so good in here. What is that scent?
And you're like,
and then,
yes.
And then in the Google reviews, they're like, I walked in and it smelled so good. Or like they walk in for the third time and they're like, it always smells so good in
Yeah.
here.
It's actually the
I
same
love hearing
company.
it.
It's the same company that does like Louis Vuitton, the Langham. Like if you go to the
yeah,
Langham, and
yeah.
it's
The Langham.
yeah, like always hotels have like that same. And I said to Amy, like Louis Vuitton, I'm like, I swear it's like makes you want to spend. You feel like bougie when you walk in there. And you're like, you know, I'm like, it makes you have this feeling, a smell.
Yeah.
It is linked to feelings and memories. So like people leave and like if they smell hints of those like tones, they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh,
I need to go and get a
Yeah.
facial.
Yeah.
And
Listen.
even though you spent, like you relay that back, you've spent, and people don't, as you said, people don't realize how much it costs to build a space. Like I was
Especially
having
now.
I was having this conversation this
especially
morning
now.
with one of the girls and I was like, do you really want to drop, 200K on something right now? Like plus, we know how expensive it is because we also have bougie taste, right? Even like when we built this place, there was nothing spared and all of those things went into it of this is what I want to give the experience. I don't want it just to feel like another salon. I want it to feel like the experience. And even the other day I was lying in the basin, I was looking up at the roof and I was like, I even just love the way the roof looks, because you don't, when you're in my old salon, the roof was tatty as shit. It was not, I don't even think it was painted in some areas, but that's when you're lying down. It's the stuff that you're looking at. Like it's the stuff we're seeing and we get used to seeing it all day, every day. And we forget to look at it from clients' eyes. So when you get to develop a new clinic and do all of those things, I think even though it's hard in the beginning, the money is worth it, but you've got to obviously have it there to spend.
See, getting that client experience too, because you guys just did your VIP night the other night, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a give back and thank you to your clients. Is that right?
Yeah, well, we have a Sskin squad. It's a membership, which it's really great because it's just buying a package. So it's kind of for best results, let's say for needling, you kind of need minimum 3 anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just buying it up front and you get a complimentary LED light therapy facial. You get to be involved in our Facebook group, which has like, we only do discounts really on there. So like last minute appointments or like special discounts, we do giveaways. So we give away things every few weeks in there to
and the
clients.
monthly newsletter they get involved in, which just has their VIP discounts.
Yeah.
that's cool.
And then we do the VIP nights. So we usually will get the VIPs together and then have like some nurses on or some derms and talk about a new treatment or a bit of the science behind some of the treatments so they get to know things better. Gift
Education.
bags.
And they walk away with goodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Education.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Yeah. What is next, Amy?
I think, well, we kind of sat down with our team. We had like a retreat day where we kind of mapped out the rest of the year for everyone. So they kind of saw where we were going. And for us this year, like Sskin Robina is only a year old. So we're really going back to foundations, back to basics, just making sure that we can get the team working cohesively, communicating well. We had to obviously expand our team. And so for us, it's been really like workshopping, having them work across both clinics. So everyone's working together.
Okay. So they're still getting that connection with everybody.
We're building the connection because we've kind of grown slowly. So we started with like a smaller team for Robina, and then we're like, as we build those relationships and skill sets, then we're going to add people. So we've been in that process. So this year is really processes, like people, and just like strong foundations.
Yeah.
And then we're going to like reset and figure out next steps.
Yeah.
Look, we're always looking, we've got like wish lists and like, oh, if we could like shoot to the moon now, like what would we do? We've got things like that we're always like, okay, this is the next thing. But, and we work on it in the background, kind of researching, looking at the market, that sort of thing. But we do understand how important a good foundation is before we see too many people scale and they scale too quickly and it just becomes a hot mess. And
it's the same with building like clinics. I watch people have like a successful business for a year or 2 years and then they're like, all right, 4 more. Like, and then all of a sudden they're like, scale back. That was terrible because I think even listening to you guys say then you make sure that everyone feels cohesive across both clinics is really important because you want it to feel like one family.
Yeah.
And
then
you're wanting to
everyone's got
maintain
it.
your brand.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're scaling too fast without purpose, it's just going to fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
So like you can get swept up in that rush of like, let's open more, let's do this, let's do that. And I just said like, Emilee, we need to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Everyone's skill level is at the same level. It's cohesive. There's consistency. There's lots of communication. So we've developed all these different processes and touch points with the team. We have our monthly team meetings. We have our derm meetings, our nurse meetings, our admin meetings. We like once a month so they can like communicate amongst each other. We've set up different processes. We have a weekly newsletter that gets emailed out just to staff with just updates, important dates, like, you know, things that we have coming up, all that sort of stuff. Just all these little things so that we can make sure everyone's across everything. Everyone feels a part of the team. Everyone, whether you're a casual who's only there, you know, a couple of days a week, then like you're still across everything and we celebrate all the little wins.
Yeah.
Everyone's like first year milestone and like birthdays and stuff like that. Just make everyone feel like it's a really good team. I actually left the VIP night the other night and was like, wow, I feel really good about my team right now.
Yeah. I did too.
Everyone really stepped up too. We were like interior designers, like setting up this event. Like Georgia, one of our nurses, she was like, no, I think this candle needs to go here. Like, it was so good.
Because then everybody feels like they have ownership in the business.
Yeah.
It felt really good.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. And sometimes I think too, we're busy enough. Also, can we just pause and enjoy, like rather than
enjoy what
going,
you've done.
the next thing. Can we
That's
also
so
just
true.
enjoy where we're at and what we've built and how far we've come and how proud we are and coming away from those nights and being like, oh,
And also
feel
it
really
depends
good.
on how much you want to work more. Like,
Yes.
are you at a time where like you just want to enjoy the clinics and what we've created? And like we both have other side projects and businesses and things going on too. So just enjoy it and enjoy our kids and not be like, you know, so frantic because we could scale and we've got all of our processes and everything down packed now. So to go open another one would be not, I wouldn't say easy, but it would be, you know,
But you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You've got all the processes.
But do we want to be even more busy? And that's probably more time without the kids or, you know,
Yeah.
sacrificing other things as well. So it's all of that you have to really think about.
And you go,
before.
as you know, we've got, as the babies are young, we've got them for so short a period of time.
Yeah.
Remember you said something to me once and you were
yeah.
we have 18 summers with our kids. And I was like, holy fuck, 18 is nothing,
Yeah.
you know, like, and I don't want my kids to look back and be like,
Yeah.
my mum's whole focus, even my kids now, after I went through a separation, my whole focus had to become my children. And even now they're just like, we love how much you're at home. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, you know, you look
Don't
back
get
and you're
used
like,
to it.
sorry, Dad. Yeah. Yep. And, you know, you're doing the school runs and stuff, but that stuff's important. And as you said, relying on family also to help as well. The kids love that.
Yeah.
So stop feeling guilty with that.
It's
My kids love
absolutely
it.
okay to have a village.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No one was ever meant to just do this job on their own.
Hell
As in
freaking no.
being a parent.
Yeah.
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 Especially, yeah. I totally agree with that because I am at the other end of things. I've got teenagers and it's just, it goes too quickly. You just need to make the most of every moment.
Don't cry, Amy. Everything makes her cry. Seriously.
It does.
You can cry if you want to. It's okay.
Safe space.
It is a safe space. I was going to say there's this thing that we do, especially I think this would be cool because you guys are sisters, that we talk like when we have guests together. Is there something that you about each other would like to emulate that the other person has? So something you would like to have and then something you would like to alleviate from them, from their lives.
So when we do it with Jen and I, so it's something, so it's like a quality Jen has that I'm obsessed with and something that I would like to take from her because she puts too much pressure on something on herself.
a burden you would like to remove from the other person's life and then something about
go
them you're like,
first,
I wish I
Amy.
could do
To
that.
emulate, definitely Emilee's got this extroverted personality where she is like the best networker. She can talk to anyone.
Aw,
She can
thank
persuade
you.
people. She can negotiate like a queen.
I can
part-time
feel that
lawyer.
literally.
Part-time lawyer.
I actually thought that. I was like, I want to be more like her today. Like I can be quite introverted and I'm like, I
Honestly,
really like this.
I'm not going to lie. Like sometimes I go into like events and stuff and think I'm just going to try and be like Emilee today. No, because you're so
That's really
good at
cute.
it. And that's why I love like sending you to those things.
Thanks.
yeah.
While I'm at home in bed. But
Yeah,
but
thanks.
she's so good at it. And I can get, I think, like a little bit of social anxiety. And it's like a little harder for me to really put myself out there and public speaking. And she's really pushed me.
Yeah, and now she won't
Sign
stop
me.
public speaking events now. Like the last thing we did, I swear she had the mic the whole time. I was like, okay, well, do you want me just to head off? And just talking the whole
I'll
time?
go home to bed.
Yeah,
like
I'll
it's
sit
just
down
me
then.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would emulate. And what was the other one?
Alleviate.
Alleviate from you.
Can't wait for this one.
I'm not. What would I take away?
Am I perfect?
Even like we normally do it like because it's
there a
more so
burden that they
is it-
shoulder
yeah,
that you would
you're
like to help
you don't
them
need
with?
to have that anymore. I hope you feel that you're seen enough and things like that. Not so much anything that's wrong with you.
Oh, I was
but
going
more
to give
so-
like a list
I
of
was
things.
not.
Lucky you, like.
I was taking it that way.
Oh, yeah. Lucky you just explained that. So
Yeah.
now that we've cleared
that up.
Not like this is where you're faulty, so pick it up. It's more
I
so
think
like
sometimes you might doubt like your intellect when it comes to like the business side of things. So you'll kind of take a step back and let me do it. But I want to take that away from you because I feel like our best work is when you contribute and we work together.
oh, you guys are so cracker. That was a great one.
I really do think that because I think some of the best things, like even like not so little, but like the sign, like, and I
What
was
sign?
so like the skin sign, like the at the front of the
Yeah.
Robina clinic, and how I was so like adamant I wanted it a certain way, and then you were like giving your input, but then you kind of took a step back. But then like when I actually thought about your input and we collaborated on it, it actually
Amy
came out better
wanted
than
no
ever.
sign.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Hey, like
No sign.
anyway, it really worked.
That's why we work well together because I probably would have come first with like a big bold, like crazy sign.
yeah.
She comes with no sign.
Neon lights,
And
landing plane
now
on the
the
roof.
sign is very subtle.
Yeah.
And I
Beige.
think when we work
Embossed.
together,
Yeah.
It's cool.
but I do see sometimes I think you'll take a step back.
That's so funny now looking back at that. And I was like, well, like how are we looking
Like Etsu, the fucking
Yeah, I
red
was like,
thing
it's
above
going to
the door.
be
See, that was my vibe.
okay. Go through a door, another door, find a map. And
Treasure
you get
hunt.
there. Yeah, cute. Okay, so for you are really, Amy is so smart. Like, I honestly feel like I've never met someone as smart as Amy. Like, when she comes up with things all the time with all your businesses, she'll come up with things and she'll show me the backhand of this, or why this will equal this, or why we're doing this for the long run of this. And with like all of the marketing and what we've decided to do with Sskin, like everything that she said has just happened. It's like she was so sure. And at the beginning, it's like, oh, but I don't know. And you know, it was very different kind of ideas too. So being really authentic and coming up with new things, like not just following trends.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Yeah,
So
I would like
sometimes
to pick your brain.
Yeah,
like, I'm like,
sometimes she'll come up with something and I'll be like, no, like I've never seen that. But then you have to realize that's where it could be really cool because it's something new where like it's easy to see a trend and kind of be like, oh, let's do that. And that's cool. So that's that. And something I would take off you onto me. Well, I don't want to take any more work.
no, you don't have to take it.
You don't have to take it.
You just want to
You
take
just
it
wanna
away and
let
get
it
it
go.
off your
Oh,
shoulders.
okay.
Yeah, you don't have to take
Okay,
it.
stress.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you could be like take stress onto you, and I want to take that and just take it away because stressing isn't going to solve anything. It's just going to make you break out.
Yeah,
I know a really good skin clinic to help you with that, both for the stress and for the skin.
So I'll take that and leave it. Can we burn something?
Yeah,
Yes, we
yeah.
can.
Out there?
Bonfire out there
Yeah.
when we finish. Amazing.
Sage the space.
Thank you.
Yes, I love
Love.
that. Oh, see, it's really, there's something symbolic about being in business together and being sisters. I think it's really nice. I love that we got to record here today before we move because
Agreed.
the salon's
moving?
name.
No,
well,
we're
not
just
the
moving
salon's
the-
not, but
we're just
the
moving
setup is
the
moving.
setup.
Oh,
to
okay.
the
'Cause I was
offices.
like, this is going to be so convenient for us.
Yeah, no.
No, we're not moving the salon. The salon is staying.
Just this little
Just the
setup
podcast.
here. Because Samara Salon's name is La Sorella, which is my sister.
In Italian.
Well, in Italian. So it's
love
just that
that.
really symbolic. I just love what you guys are doing
Agreed.
for the industry. I think it's incredible. You're on an amazing path.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
have taken so much from this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
going to
have
do
to
that.
get
Oh,
coffee
I'm going to do that.
at
Yes.
one time all
Yes.
together.
Yep.
Pick each other's brains.
And book you both in.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yes.
I was like, Rich, I'm booking into Sskin. I need the credit card. And I was like, but I couldn't get in before the girls are here. I'm like, damn them being so busy. It's so good.
I know, because I've literally been sending it for so long. I thought, I found it.
Yeah.
I know where we're going. Look at this. And then it's the thing. But that's when I noticed because it was Katie's face on one. I'm like,
Hold on, that's my friend.
Oh,
So
we love
I'm
Katie so
definitely
much.
going to report back on all of the experience because I am I'm even
Yeah.
more excited
it
now.
looks amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking
Oh,
the time
thank
out
you
of
for
your
having
busy
us.
days.
For having us.
We really, really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for everything you're doing because I think that it is very inspiring for anybody
absolutely.
that's stepping into
It is the big difference that the industry needs.
Agreed.
Thanks, ladies. So kind.
Thank you.